Good morning, good night, good evening, everyone, and my loyal subscribers. Today we are bringing you Henri, the Tier 10 French tech line cruiser. Now, right off into the bat, we're going for the economic stuff without the merit flag. 50% to credits, 105 to ship XP, 115 to commander XP, and then 150 with a clan. Armor-wise, she's got a 25mm bow, 30mm side, 30mm deck, and a 25mm stern. And then her torpedo protection is 30mm. Now, let's pull away the torpedo protection. That's the Citadel above the waterline. Add in the torpedo protection. You do get spaced armor here. There is spaced armor on these on the French cruisers, so there is that wonkiness in that armor scheme there. That is there. That will save you, but again, if you get overmatched through the bow, that will go right into your Citadel. So you have to be aware of that. And every cruiser you face from tier 7 up. Well, actually, even tier 6 even overmatches 25mm plating. So, 15-inch guns, so Bismarck, FDG, and literally above will overmatch that bow. So, yeah, you are squishy. So, you have to, so you're basically a kiting and attacking ship. But you have to play on the situation that you're facing. Now, for health pool-wise, we're going at 53,300 with a 19% torpedo reduction. It's not bad, but again, it won't save you against the torpedoes you're facing. This is where Henri gets into her main selling point, are her guns. Her 240mm guns. Now they have a base reload, a minimum reload of how I spec'd into my Henri, a base reload 10.3 seconds. Minimum switch time of 6.3. Minimum 180 of 31 seconds. Max dispersion 159. 20-kilometer range. Again, this is all based on how I have my Henri build. HE shells, 3,400 max damage for HE, 22% of fire, 40mm armor pin. Actually not pretty decent. Again, you take IFHE, that jumps up significantly, but you lose a huge chance to your fire chance, so I don't recommend taking IFHE. 847 velocity, not bad. They do have an arch to them, but they are pretty flat at short range. AP damage, 6,200. Again, same velocity, flat at around 10 kilometers, anything more, and you get an arc. Secondary is nothing much worth mentioning. 4-second reload, 9-kilometer range, 1,800 max damage, 9% of fire, mediocre pin of 21, and a velocity of 808. So nothing much. Torpedoes, you do get 6 of these guys on each of your sides. Or you get 6 torpedoes in total, 3 on each side, sorry. But they have a 6-second 180, a minute and a half reload, without adrenaline rest, 15,000 max damage, 60 knots, so they're kind of slow. So you really only want to use these at YOLO lean in and mid point blank range when you know you can hit your target. That's literally the only time. 99.9% of the time you're using your guns. Airstrike, well, you get 8-kilometer range, 2 charges, 5,000 max damage, and 2 bombs in a payload. Average, not the best. You'll struggle against subs unless you can dictate the terms of the engagement. A defense, average at best, she gets 8 quad mount 57s, and then her 6 127 dual mounts. So continuous damage. Yeah, you have no short range AA. This is all long range AA, and the long range AA damage is pitiful at 119. The continuous is where it's all at 350. So it's decent if you have defensive AA, but you're going to be taking Hydro. So that's unfortunate. The shell explosion is not bad at 1680. in a 6-kilometer range. That's actually not bad, but against good CV players, you're going to struggle. Tier 8, you can defend yourself pretty well. Maneuverability, exceptional at 35 knots, 840 turning circle. A little large, but not bad. Rudder shift, minimum, of course, at 11.2. So, pretty decent. Concealment, how I have it built, is 16 kilometers. So, pretty heavily. Again, this is how I have my Henri build. Main armaments 1. Engine damage control mod 1. Now you could go engine room protection or engine boost. That's a highly, or you could do hydro. There's a lot of options in this second slot, but always aiming systems mod 1. And then I do propulsion, but you could do steering gears. And then I run the legendary upgrade. 25% to main battery reload, minus 5% to main firing range, 10% less to your firing reload time, and then you get a plus 10 detectability. Legendary Henris and Lighthouse builds are very hard to work with, very hard. And then I do, of course, main battery reload. That's how I can get it down to a 10-point-second reload. And that goes even further down when you do the reload charge. You're getting Des Moines-style reload with the build I'm running. Then you get, 4 charges of hydro, 4 charges of engine boost, 4 charges of repair party, and 5 charges of reload booster. Okay? Now, into the build. This isn't a full 21 points, okay? But I do the unique captain Jean-Jacques Haro. And I do grease the gears, consumable specialist, gun feeder, priority target, superintendent, concealment expert, adrenaline rush, and top grade gunner. Now I do run, the reason I run this captain is because you get an enhanced adrenaline rush. So you get better DPM for your health. Now, for the last 21 points, I will be going consumable enhancements for the hydro and then for the speed boost. So, it adds up and it helps because it makes it that much better. So, if you go with the hydro consumable or the speed boost consumable, that only makes those consumables that much more powerful. But that is legitimately Henri in a nutshell. Let's be honest. You run this build and learn how to run it properly, you're going to be a monster in randoms. Hello and welcome back. Today we've got some asymmetric gameplay for Henri. Now, Henri does have 25mm bow armor. Every ship, mainly here, Colorado, Sin Up, most of those ships will overmatch that 25mm bow. And Henri was a ship I was wanting to get some footage for the channel for. Because we don't have a lot of it. We don't have any. So I was thinking, well, let's try to get some footage for this ship. It was on the last day of the patch. The very last day of asymmetric battles. I was running Henri and I was like,
activated.
I only run for a few matches, for a few ships, run the ship a few times. If I get lucky and I get that footage, I'm calling it good. And this was pretty decent. Now, Henri does have 240mm guns. Those overmatch a huge amount of cruisers, except Des Moines. Light cruisers, like the Fijis, Harbins, Geelons, it overmatches. So Edinburgh goes right through paper. Now, our team is saying, defensive positions, and that's the gearing. So he's leaving me. So the team is kind of taking more defensive, and they're asking for my support. Well, I'm not going to be defending. I'm going to be doing attacking. Because Henri is an attacking, but also a kiting and defending ship. The HE is extremely potent. It doesn't take much for these shells to set fire. Without a doubt. Now, I am detected from 15 kilometers. 16 rounded up. This is the lighthouse build, Henri. I love running the lighthouse build. And you'll see, we have a 10-second right now. We go to 9.5 seconds. We switch to AP. And just watch how these shells just slam into the Edinburgh. I mean, of course, the first shot's not going to be great because, well, but this next salvo, 11,000. Then slam on our brakes, 16,000. Because he can pin us, and he is hurting us for quite a bit. Another 16k. He is working through his super heal though, or his heal. That's why we're getting so much damage. And then we pick him up. That was 51,000. Pop our hydro. The DD is spotted, so we're not totally worried.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
And see, the Salem, the Schleifen's the only one that's actually, attacking, and he's mainly just sitting on an island. He's probably waiting for the enemy to come up where he can find them. Schleifen can just rush in there, but he's probably waiting for intelligence. But I'm just gonna sit here and attack. I do try to aim for the New Orleans. That's just a bad shot. And I do waste a reload booster, but it's okay.
Deactivated.
I mean, I got like five of these things. I can afford to burn. We do get a nice citadel there. We pop our heal, and we're going to be going on the offensive zone. Schleifen's still sitting there. We see the Monarch spotting plane, so we know he can shoot us from there. So we decide to, well, run. I don't want to get caught out broadside by the Monarch. We probably could have had that New Orleans with at least a citadel, but whatever. We're at 60,000. May not seem like a lot, but it will get better. So we're gonna just push straight in. We know there's a DD around here. We know we're gonna be broadside to battleships, so we're taking that into account.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
DD shows up. We have HE loaded. One salvo, one shot. 6,500 off of him. Loses like half his health. Second salvo. Saturation kicks in, and that only goes down to about 3k. But next salvo will kill him. His engine's gone. And we engine boost out of it, because we know torps are coming.
Torpedoes, direct
There's
front.
the torps.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
And we're
Torpedoes
speed boosting,
to
so we're running out. Again, broadside Monarch. 10,000. He gives us about a 10k salvo. We pop our reload booster. 13k. 14k. And that was about 12k together. We bounced some shells and Monarch up. We jumped from 60k to 140.
Enemy battleship sunk.
Now, we are being shot at by the Synop. And Synop does have decent accuracy. If he aims, if his shells hit me, I'm screwed. Fortunately, we get at just enough of an angle to bounce the shells. Had we still been broadside, those more than likely would have really hurt us. We pop some HE shovels out. Maybe we'll get lucky and get a fire. Who knows? We do get a fire. That is, he is going to let that burn. So that's a 60-second fire. You hit two fires will cause these guys a DCP. One fire, they burn. going in to try to bounce that shell on my belt armor because he overmatches my bow.
All stations.
Because remember, I only have 25k, but the side armor is really weak. I'm not close enough to Citadel him, but I can at least take like 10k to 8k chunks off of him. We pop our reload booster.
All stations. Concentrate fire on the target.
And I really want this kill, so I really don't want my team to pick this kill up. Like, I really don't. And if you were paying attention when our reload booster's on, we go down to about a Des Moines reload with our reload booster. And we lost about half our health, but we're down to about an 8-second reload now. Salem isn't going to get around the island to take that kill. So we're going to pick up the send up. We're at 213k. Colorado comes around the island. He's broadside. And we're at 5 kilometers. So solid armor piercing going straight into his side. Again, he overmatches our bow, so we have to be wary of that.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
We could have probably had that kill though, but it's okay. 239. Armor piercing for salvo, boom. 2 salvos and he's gone.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
But you see how the reload literally drops down to like 4 seconds. So we're really getting like Des Moines style reload with these guns. Schlieffen's everything just pummeling Gneisenau. He's gonna go down before we can get the kill. It's unfortunate. But 290k in Henri, 18 Citadels. Not a bad match. Not a bad match. I mean, got that done. I mean, almost 300k, 18 Citadels, point blank range on battleships. Henri guns just Citadel everything. Let's be honest. Top of the team, beating a Schlieffen, a Salem, all ships that have huge DPM advantages, even a sub. Because I literally just picked my side and stayed on it. It would have been nice to crack 300k, but it's whatever. I'm happy with that. $1.5 million tanked in an Henri, which is normally known for kiting. Decent little profit, not bad.